Hello again. And this morning, it's morning for me anyway, I've come up the coast from Liverpool heading north. I've taken the train to Blundell Sands, and if you were to look on Google Maps and find the pin to locate Anthony Gormley's sculpture of Another Place, then this is exactly where I am. Tide is well out at the moment. If nothing else, I'm hoping to make use more productively of the 10-stop neutral density filter. That's the one that attaches magnetically. The first and last outing I had with it was a complete waste because there was absolutely no movement in the water whatsoever. So I'm going to do a test today with and without the 10-stop. I want to make sure if there is any colour cast that I can correct it, and hopefully show you the effect of a longer shutter speed using a 10-stop filter. We'll give it a go anyway. Can't promise anything going by recent history, but there you go, we'll try. Well, here we are with one set up anyway. I brought the camera down to the muddy part of the beach. We've got these ridges left by the receding tide, and we have a figure in the immediate foreground there, which I've placed on the thirds, upright shot as you can see, and I've taken some both with and without the 10-stop. The wind is occasionally dying down to zero, which obviously has no real impact when you're using a 10-stop filter, but at the moment it's blowing quite nicely, so we'll have a look at the results when I get back. Well, here is a straight image out of the camera, exactly as I had it framed up in that previous clip, and I'm quite happy with that. Nothing to write home about. It's not even a portfolio shot, but nevertheless quite happy. Now, with the 10-stop filter, the shortest exposure time I could get was just about 1/4 of a second, and that's what you're looking at here. You'll notice there is a distinct colour shift, and when I put the two images up side by side, that becomes much more apparent. The shot with the 10-stop filter is on the left, and it's obviously quite a bit warmer than the version on the right. This is with the 10-stop, and it's a 1.5 second exposure. I moved in closer with these to get rid of some of that wet sand in the foreground, and in this version I've just lightened the shadows. And now here we have one at 5 second exposure, and again in this example I've just lightened the shadows. And I did have a go at correcting the colour. You can see here that I've changed it so that we've got slightly stronger blues, but the sand has gone rather yellowy green. I'm not too keen on that. But one thing that became immediately apparent was the fact that I've got dirt on my sensor. So I thought the best thing to do now would be to show you how to clean your camera's sensor. And most people start off by buying a sensor cleaning kit. If you're thinking about doing anything else, stop. You really do not need to use wet wipes or tissues or anything like that. Get yourself a dedicated set of sensor cleaning swabs. The only other tool that you're going to need is either a rocket blower brush or a standard blower brush, and I always remove the brush part off my blower. And it's important to hold your camera with the sensor facing down when you do this, and just blow a few puffs of air into the sensor, and any loose bits of debris will hopefully anyway fall down onto the work surface. Now you can order the sensor swabs in different sizes. Obviously I went for the micro 4/3 size. They're available in APS-C and full frame.
and they are basically sealed, hygienically sealed, and when you remove them from the wrapping paper, it's very important, as with any similar sort of medically sealed item, to make sure that you don't touch the actual end of the swab with your fingertips, because the acid on your fingertips will leave an oily mark on the sensor as well. The second part of the system is to dab some sensor cleaning fluid onto the tip of the swab. I think the fluid is basically some sort of weak alcohol substance, a bit like rubbing alcohol. And all you do is literally put a drop or two, no more, on one side of the swab. You can see it there. And then holding the camera with the swab at roughly 60 degrees to the sensor, you make a swipe from one side to the other. And in my case, 2 swipes to cover the whole sensor. And then you go in the reverse direction. And that's it. You do nothing else whatsoever. And most importantly, once you have used a swab, do not be tempted to use it again. Throw them away. And then you can take a photograph, either pointing straight up at the sky or a piece of white paper, magnify the image on the back, scroll it around, and you should be able to get some nice clean images illustrating that you've got rid of any spots on the sensor itself. Now, if you use a DSLR, there are umpteen videos on YouTube telling you how to clean the sensor on a DSLR, and as far as I can see, not one of them tells you why you need to have a fully charged battery in order to do this particular exercise. Now, with the camera that I'm showing you, which is my ancient Fuji FinePix S1 Pro, there is a system which you have to employ to lock the mirror up without the sensor being activated. If you were to set the camera to B setting, it means that the sensor is live and there is electricity flowing through it and across it. So there is a great danger that you are going to actually attract more dust and debris onto the sensor than the amount that you get rid of. So it's very important to go through the sensor cleaning section in your camera's menu to make sure that the mirror flips up, but that the actual sensor isn't being powered on. It's worth bearing in mind that with many DSLRs, the sensor cleaning section of the menu won't actually activate unless you do have a fully charged battery inside the camera. It's a sort of fail-safe device. But under no circumstances, please, please, please don't be tempted to either try lifting the mirror up with your finger, or as I've done here with the tip of a sensor rod. Then you're going to cause all sorts of mayhem to the mirror box assembly. Just don't do it. But at the end of all that, you should have a nice clean sensor. Anyway, now back to Blundell Sands, and I'll wrap up the video.
Well, I've taken those few test shots down there on the beach, so we'll get an idea what the filter performs like when I get back home, see them on the computer. Now I've come up into the sand dunes just behind the beach. I've taken some close-ups down on the wet sand. Whether they'll be any good or not, I don't know. Hopefully enough to put together a short video for you all. But we're going to have a wander through the dunes on our way back to catch the train. hopefully I've done something to make a 15-minute video out of. I don't know. At least I've tested the 10-stop magnetic filter by K&F. I'll show you some stills of the packaging and all the rest of it, because I don't do unboxings. Fantastic to use. So much easier than having to cart around a load of square filters and filter holder and all the rest of that malarkey. Okay, maybe not as flexible, but nevertheless, I find it an advantage anyway. You know, Micro Four Thirds is all about weight and size. And from that point of view, it's a definite success. As long as I don't get bright pink colours in the images. But we'll find out when I do the editing. Anyway, for now, from Blundell Sands beach on Merseyside, I'll say take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye for now.